Title: Whispers in the Fog. Opening scene where the story begins with a wide shot of a dense, fog-shrouded forest. The air is thick, muffling every sound. A lone woman, Claire, is walking along an overgrown path, clutching a flashlight that barely pierces the swirling mist. Her breath comes in short, visible puffs. She's looking for something, or someone. Claire narrates softly, "When my sister Emily disappeared 3 years ago, they told me to move on. They said the forest took her, like it's taken so many others. But last night, I heard her voice on my old cassette recorder. I heard her whisper my name." The camera pans to Claire's pocket where a small recorder plays back faint, distorted whispers, "Claire, help me. I'm still here." Rising action, Claire reaches an old wooden bridge that spans a shallow, dark creek. The planks creak ominously underfoot. As she crosses, she hears a faint rustling behind her. She freezes, shining her flashlight into the fog. Nothing. She continues, but quickens her pace. On the other side of the bridge, she finds a clearing with a weathered signpost pointing in 3 directions: Black Hollow, Wailing Grove, and Ashwood Cemetery. Emily's voice plays again from the recorder. "Ashwood." Claire turns toward the path marked Ashwood Cemetery, her steps hesitant. The fog seems to grow thicker, and the trees appear unnaturally twisted, as though reaching for her. Suddenly, she hears a faint melody, a haunting lullaby, floating through the air. Her flashlight flickers and dies. The melody grows louder, almost taunting, and she stumbles forward, guided only by the faint outline of a wrought iron gate in the distance. At the cemetery, Claire pushes open the gate, its hinges screaming in protest. The cemetery is ancient, the headstones weathered and covered in moss. The lullaby stops abruptly, leaving a deafening silence. She pulls out the recorder and presses play. Emily's whisper, "Find the grave with no name." Shivering, Claire searches the headstones, her flashlight flickering back to life. She finds it, a headstone with no inscription, just an ominous carving of an eye. As she kneels to inspect it, she feels the ground beneath her shift slightly. A hand bursts through the dirt, skeletal and clawed, grasping at her ankle. Claire screams, scrambling back as more hands emerge from the ground. Shadowy figures rise from the graves, their hollow eyes glowing faintly in the dark. They whisper in unison, "Join us." The confrontation. Claire's flashlight flickers wildly as she stumbles backward. She fumbles in her bag and pulls out an old photograph of Emily, holding it up as if it could protect her. "Emily! If you're here, show yourself!" She shouts, her voice cracking. The whispers grow louder, overlapping until they're deafening. The shadowy figures close in, but they stop abruptly, parting to reveal a smaller figure, a girl in a tattered dress. It's Emily. Her skin is pale, her eyes dark and hollow. "Claire," Emily says, her voice hollow and strained, "you shouldn't have come." Tears stream down Claire's face as she steps closer. "I had to. I couldn't leave you here." Emily shakes her head. "It's too late. I'm part of them now. But you still have a chance. You need to run. Before he comes." The twist. Before Claire can respond, the ground trembles violently. The fog thickens, and a towering figure emerges from the shadows. Its form is monstrous, a grotesque amalgamation of human and beast, with antlers that scrape the tree canopy and glowing, lidless eyes. The shadowy figures chant. The keeper of Ashwood, Emily, screams, her voice breaking the chant. Claire, go! Don't look back! Claire hesitates, torn between saving her sister and escaping. But the keeper's gaze locks onto her, freezing her in place. It raises a clawed hand, and the shadows lurch toward her. At the last moment, Emily steps between Claire and the shadows. I'll hold them back, she whispers. I love you. Remember me. The escape, Claire breaks free from her paralysis and runs, her lungs burning, the whispers chasing her. She crosses the creaking bridge, the fog thinning as she emerges from the forest. Behind her, the whispers fade into silence. Collapsing to her knees, she pulls out the recorder one last time. She presses play, but instead of Emily's voice, there's only static. Tears stream down her face as she stares back at the forest, now eerily quiet. Ending scene. The final shot shows Claire's flashlight lying forgotten on the ground. The camera pans up to the forest's edge, where a faint silhouette of Emily watches from the mist before dissolving into the fog. Fade to black. Closing narration. Claire, somewhere in that cursed forest, my sister's soul lingers, trapped but not forgotten. And though I escaped, part of me will always be there, listening for her whispers in the fog.